Okay, Ithaca and Maud, take it away.
Yeah, so we can see
So,
that
welcome to the next match of the EVNT Cup. We see immediately the Raven and the Cyclone, along with that Courage, just coming in right at 0. They are ready to brawl. They're ready to lock up, try and push F1 and just damage down the other team. However, they're sitting at range. They have that Scorpion out at 50, the Drake at 30, and the Punisher at 30 as well, just ready to screen and try and protect their Scorpion and try and protect their Caracal. So we do have the countdown running in local, so this match is about to get underway.
Yeah, we can see that the Punisher and the Drake have worked in at 30. That's an excellent range for the Punisher. If you want to get on top of the Raven, you're going to be able to do so before any of the other ships, except for maybe the Merlin can actually lock you in time. So already the burst off from the Drake at the very beginning will be those info links for the Scorpion to boost its damage. The Punisher and the Drake actually choosing to run away, and the Scorpion putting its jam spread across both the Raven and the Cyclone.
Yeah, that Punisher now turning around and starting to burn back down. He wants to try and position himself between the rest of his teammates and the incoming ships from the other side. You can see that Cyclone burning up fast with the Raven immediately behind him. So that Punisher is probably going to think about getting in there and screening those. If that Cyclone gets in and gets tackle on either the Drake or the Scorpion, then that is a bad place for those ships to be. So that Punisher, he needs to man up, get in there, get the tackle.
Yeah, Punisher's got the right idea right now, but it looks like he's actually put his scram onto the web onto the Corax, who's taking a lot of damage. The Osprey not being able to keep it up so far. Getting at least one of the tackle ships, I think, is a very good call. The Cyclone, though, is getting absolutely chunked. His shield is getting ruined right now.
Yeah, they're using rep bots, so maybe going for that Corax there, just to preserve their bots, especially if that Corax was shooting those rep bots. If you lose those, especially when you don't have the rest of your... So you don't have a Logi ship, you've got that Caracal instead, then you really need to try and protect those rep bots, give yourself a little bit more staying power. That Cyclone now starting to take damage. Now he does have that Osprey to keep him up, and if he starts to drop low, he's got his XLASB. So if he's being smart, he's not going to be running his XLASB just yet, he's going to be just cruising along, using the Osprey, and trying to preserve those charges for when he really needs it later on.
Yeah, so
Scorpion's
far
starting to take damage as well. Now he has armor tank, so he is still not too concerned, but he is taking heavy damage right now.
Yeah, so far the Osprey is completely jammed out, which is why we're not seeing any reps onto that Merlin or to the Cyclone. And if they can break the Scorpion, it'll be an excellent trade for them. After that, the Drake and the Caracal don't have that much damage, but so far they're just not getting enough damage onto the Scorpion. As more ships fall for the 5 Guys 1 Cup team, it makes the job of the Scorpion that much easier. There's just that fewer targets to jam. And we can see that the multi-specs are doing absolute work to the Cyclone and to the Raven. No damage coming across to the 5 multi-specs. You can put at least 2 on top of the Cyclone and the Raven, giving an excellent chance to jam.
Yeah, that Cyclone is right on top of the Scorpion now, so he's got him tackled. So the Merlin we just saw just get eviscerated and die very quickly. Osprey now, he is getting huge damage, just managed to catch himself there in low hull. He is now boosting, frantically trying to keep himself alive. As soon as that goes down, really the Cyclone's going to be onto his local tank, the Raven as well. And I think, to be honest, at this point, we can almost call it. The Scorpion has got most of his armor left. The Punisher, again, he's happy. He's regenerating shield, probably from those rep bots. And all the other team I've got left is a Cyclone and a Raven. The Cyclone is great by itself, but it just do enough damage against a Scorpion, Drake, Caracal, Tower, and Punisher.
Yeah, the US Time Zone team was absolutely eating up the 5 Guys at 1 Cup.
Yeah, I think at this occasion, the choice to bring rep bots rather than damage bots by USTZ is a really good choice. It just gave them a lot of staying power. It enabled them to rep the other ships on their team, keep them alive much longer than they would have if they'd gone purely for damage drones, and that allowed them just that extra bit of time to work through the Osprey and the Destroyer and the Frigate of the other team right there, and now they're sitting comfortable. Yeah, this is pretty much it now. The Raven going into mid-shields, and with no Osprey to keep them up, it's just purely a time issue now. How long is it going to take them to burn them down?
So what they actually did on the US Time Zone team is that they destroyed the Frigate and the Destroyer. Once they did that, they had no real meaningful tackle. you can see that even on the UI, nothing's really tackled so far except for the Drake, and that's been a fairly recent development in the course of this match. And even now that it's happening, it doesn't really matter too much because the Raven is in low shield. So the Caracal and the Talwar did exactly what they needed to. Once the Osprey was jammed out, they couldn't apply reps. That call was made, and they just broke through the limited amount of buffer that they had with that rapid light damage combined.
Yeah, we're seeing literally no damage now onto the US time zone feed. You got the Drake regenerating shield, the Punisher is almost back up to full shield, and that Scorpion, again, he's just sitting happy. So the Jam's probably just hitting hard, both the Raven and the Cyclone now. He can just focus them down. And yeah, this match has been over for a while now, so we just have to wait and let them chew through these two bricks, especially that Cyclone. If he's managed to reload his booster, which he should have by now, he'll be able to tank that other team for quite a while. The damage coming from US time zone isn't the greatest, but it's more than enough.
So if you were on the Five Guys One Cup team, how might have you approached this match differently once you were on grid? Or at least you knew the bans that had came in?
I think I would have probably gone for that Drake first. The Drake does quite a decent amount of DPS, especially compared to the rest of the ships on that field, but it doesn't have a huge amount of tank compared to some of the other ships. So it's a very good one to remove, especially as you remove the links. So I would have sent that Merlin in, got tackle on it, and then just brought that Cyclone in to try and save it. Now, as soon as you got that Cyclone in tackling that Drake, you peel the Merlin off and send it off to harass maybe the Caracal or the Talwar and just kind of slow them down.
Well, now we see the Cyclone is into about half hull. Very well played by the classic US time zone team. Well done by the No Gates group, and they're going to move on to the next round in the bracket to play offline in the, I want to say, second round.
Yeah, great match. US time zone not feeding for once. Congratulations, and back to the studio.